What's up, fight fans? Welcome to Mr. Mustache MMA News. Today we got some breaking news. Jared Gordon is out of his fight with Jim Miller, but before we get into it, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button to continue getting more MMA content by yours truly. Alright guys, getting right into it. Jared Gordon is out against his fight with Jim Miller this Saturday, only 2 days away from the fight, where Jared Gordon was ruled unfit to fight, probably still suffering mild concussion symptoms, since his most recent no-contest fight against Bobby Green was back in April, where he took a nasty headbutt, which led to him getting knocked out, which was turned over to a no-contest due to the accidental headbutt. And that was back in April, so it was a bit of a quick turnaround for him. And when they called him about 2 weeks ago for this fight, it was already a short-notice fight. He was 193 pounds. This fight, obviously, at 155. So with him having the concussion symptoms, with it being a huge weight cut, the commission has decided to remove him from the bout. They have found a replacement for Jim Miller in Jesse Butler, 31 years old, going to be making his UFC debut, currently riding a, I think, 5-fight win streak, was fighting over at Fury FC. He is more of a submission specialist. He's got 8 wins by submission, 1 win by knockout, and a few others by decision. He has losses to former UFC vet Michael McDonald. So he hasn't really taken any losses against anybody. He hasn't fought anybody really truly high level or what you would say elite. Nobody really former UFC fighters or anything like that. So this is kind of really his big shot, his call to the big leagues, and he's a submission specialist going against a guy who in his own right is a grappler. And you could definitely say Jim Miller is Mr. Experience. I think he has the most UFC fights of all time, the most extensive resume in UFC history, the guy who's been there and done that since I was like a fucking freshman in high school. And I think that's going to be the key here. I think that his veteran experience, especially in the grappling department, will be too much for Jesse in this fight. Jesse, he's 31 years old. He's definitely still in his physical prime, where Jim Miller is not. He's 39 years old. But you saw most recently in Jim's last fight, yeah, he lost to Alexander Hernandez, but towards the end of the fight, he was able to wear on Alexander. He was really able to start making it very interesting as the fight went on, where the athleticism was kind of taken away from Alexander, where his gas tank kind of depleted, and Jim was still there and was still able to have a really high fight IQ and use his veteran ability. He was able to keep his gas tank longer than Hernandez. So even though he lost that fight, he really didn't lose a whole lot of traction. With him being 39 years old too, before that fight, he was riding, I think, a 3-fight, 3-finish streak against Cowboy Cerrone, Nicholas Mota, and Eric Gonzalez. So he's been going out there and taking out these, minus Cowboy, the lesser-known prospects coming up. So he's shown he's still got it. He's still a savvy veteran. He still has those little tricks up his sleeve that he can go out there and put guys away and finish guys. He still shows that he's healthy. He really only suffered his first injury in his last fight against Hernandez. He had been injury-free for, I think he said, his entire career. His only real issue a few years back, he had Lyme's disease, and he just wasn't able to find the right treatments for it, and it fucked him all up, and his weight cuts and his diets and his training was just all off, and that's kind of where you saw his his losses kind of stack up a little bit. But once he was able to kind of get his health back on track, you've seen him continue to be consistent and be the Iron Man of the UFC. So I love what Jim Miller's doing. He wants to be the only guy to ever fight on UFC 100, 200, 300. And if he puts on a good performance against Jesse Butler, we could definitely see that happening in the near future. Because if he keeps taking losses, we can see Dana and them kind of parting ways. He's about to be 40. So he's got to go out there and still show that he can perform if he wants to make it to UFC 300. And he is damn fucking close. We're about to be, 290? I remember about 4 years back, too, when he was even talking about it, where I think it was back maybe like UFC 230, UFC 240, where he was kind of discussing where he wanted to fight UFC 300. I remember thinking to myself, too, like, man, if he were to make it that much longer, that would be fucking wild. And just to see that probably become a reality is pretty cool. So, if he takes a loss here, I expect him to probably wait it out until UFC 300, then maybe have his retirement fight. But if he gets a dub here, I can definitely see him kind of continue on and get a couple more fights, get a couple more paychecks before UFC 300 and probably deciding to hang it up around that time. But the guy still looks healthy, still looks hungry. He's a savvy veteran. probably plenty of tricks up his sleeve. And with Jesse Butler, very good opportunity to come in on 2 days' notice, nothing to lose against a future Hall of Fame guy like Jim Miller. If he can go out there and get the dub against a future Hall of Famer like Jim Miller, that would be really good to catapult him into the public eye and to get him a good opponent in his next outing. But win or lose, he'll probably get a second fight within the UFC with him taking such a short notice bout. With Jared Gordon, I think just a little bit more time off, a little bit more time to get himself into better fight shape. I think we'll see him back in no time. He has run into a little bit of bad luck, but I think if he takes a little bit more time off, take care of his body, he'll be back in no time and out there to perform. So I really don't have any worries about Jared Gordon's future as of right now. Guys, that's going to do it for today. I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts in the comment section. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button, guys, to continue getting more MMA content by yours truly. That's going to do it for today. Mr. Mustache, MMA News out. Let's fucking go, fight fans.